The winning snatch in the previous B session was a pretty massive 101 kilo lift from Shania Bedwood from Canada. I wonder if opening at 93 might be a little bit too low to get up there. But some of these athletes that we've seen over the last week and a half have sort of artificially bumped up their entry totals to make this A session.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a bit. Oh, she
that
just
was
goes right
very
for it.
comfortable.
Smart opener for her, very easy.
Yep, little hop back, but the bar comes with her. Very strong pull, holds her position well there.
Gold has 2 minutes on the clock.
She's probably going to bump up to at least 95, though. We'll see if Kachatrian actually stays there, though.
Y llamamos de nuevo a Celia Gold de Israel. Segundo levantamiento del arranque.
So yeah, she might be in a situation where she follows herself again because she's bumping to 95, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Milena Kachatrian from Armenia bump up as well.
Yeah, she's got 96 here.
Kachatrian will come out for this.
Deportista de Armenia, Milena Kachatrian.
She's an athlete who hasn't competed as a senior yet. She's been a junior, previously a youth athlete. Last competition was the Junior World Champs back in May.
Strong snatch.
Now, she made 96 kilos back in May at those Junior World Championships. Her best international snatch is 99. So you have to imagine she's eyeing up that 100 kilos today. A massive milestone.
Now, representing Mexico, Lisbeth Nolasco, first attempt.
Now,
96 kilogramos en la palanqueta y llamamos a una latinoamericana.
So Nolasco now from Mexico.
Mexico's had a very solid, very strong showing here. Just really phenomenal lifting. Great technicians, strong, tough competitors. It's been a real treat to watch those.
Yeah, I think the Mexican women's team seems to be a little bit stronger than the men's team. We've seen a fair few Mexican women in the A sessions. It's not quite been the same way for the men's side. They've been in the B sessions. But they have brought out a pretty solid team. Fair few athletes here.
La ecuatoriana también solicita más peso. Seguimos con 96 kilogramos en la palanqueta y llamamos para la segunda presentación del arranque.
So 11 athletes in this session. One of the largest sessions I suppose we've seen. We've had up to 12 athletes and as few as maybe 8 in a category so far.
Yeah. It's also a non-Olympic class, so we don't see any Chinese lifters in this session. That's been their MO this competition.
Second attempt now for Celia Gold. And that, if anything, looked a little bit nicer than the opener.
Yeah, very comfortable.
She's got really strong technique. It almost looks like she could be, you know, adding another 5 kilos on there and having a go at it.
97 kilos now.
I'd be surprised if she hadn't been over 100 in training.
Yeah, we'll see if she takes 99, that'll be another 3 kilo increase, or if she goes for that 100.
Incremento automático de 1 kilogramo para la deportista de Israel. 97 entonces en la palanqueta. Y la llamamos para su tercer levantamiento. Celia Gold de Israel.
I wonder if she's going to take a 4 kilo jump for 100 kilos. Oftentimes the coaches say to their athletes, look, the first 2 attempts are for me. You do what I say on the third attempt. What do you want to do? We've already got Kachatrian, who made 95, asked for 100 on her second attempt, which would be a personal best. But this is now Nolasco's opener at 98. Fair few scrapes, bits of chalk on her leg. She probably keeps the bar very close.
Getting your grip set. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, very solid lift.
Yeah, a little bit slower in the pull than some of the other athletes we've seen, but
good lift,
I mean, very smooth in the catch.
98 kilos remains on the
Yeah,
barbell.
again, a very sharp technical lifter out of Mexico. It's very exciting to see that.
Now we're almost at the 100 kilo mark. The bar's loaded at 98 for Canones from Ecuador to open up, but after that we'll probably jump up to 100. At which point it's a game of how many athletes can be successful over 100, how many, if any, probably several, will get to 110 kilos.
Is now the athlete at 98 kilograms.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the line that we see has to be crossed in order to get on the podium.
98 kilogramos en la palanqueta. Llamamos a Kelly Jiménez de Ecuador.
So now out comes Canones
Primer levantamiento de arranque.
from Ecuador. She told us that she's had a really hard time training this year, a lot of learning, lots of injuries, but she's been able to recover. Her knee was causing her some problems this year, but she feels like she's in a much better place now. Her best snatch this year has been 102 kilos.
It was a very heavy opener for her then. Just 4 kilos from that. Oh, very solid. Yeah, again, we like seeing this. All successes so far.
Yeah.
Very solid, strong session. People making good calls.
This could very well be the most made lifts we've seen in a row at this World Championships. We're at 5. I feel like every time we mention it, something bad happens. But I do seem to remember, Max, commentating at the European Championships with you. I think we maybe got to 15 or 16 in a row, and we were well aware of that and mentioning it every time. I think everybody tuning in was getting behind it. It was quite the amazing winning streak.
Yeah, we love seeing sessions where there's a lot of makes because it really drives competition. It's exciting to see that. Everyone succeeding and doing their best.
Yeah.
Representing Israel, third attempt for Celia Gold.
So will Celia take this? I mean, it seems likely that she will. 3 kilo jumps.
Yeah, she's coming out for it.
Celia Gold, tercer y último levantamiento del arranque.
This will be the last lift under 100 kilos.
And this is her international debut. She's the only athlete here who's never competed on an international platform. So to make the World Championships your first, and then have made your first 2 lifts is pretty good.
So close, just a little bit forward. Yeah, she didn't quite get her head through, get the bar back behind her.
She does have a really big pull. No doubt at her next competition she'll be able to push to over 100 kilos. Very strong lifter.
The second attempt, Milena.
Okay, so Milena Khachatryan now will be looking to make an international record on her second attempt at 100 kilos. She is one of 3 juniors, and so her progress has been pretty stark over the last year and a half of competition.
Yep.
Well, really, since 2017 when she started competing as a youth.
Yeah. A little bit bigger jump, too, 5 kilos. She opened comfortably. Yep.
Wow.
Just a little forward, but was able to save that. Get it back far enough to stabilize. She'll have to do a little bit better job with more weight.
Yeah, very characteristic Armenian technique there, that little hop forward. Again, a little bit wider in the grip, which is pretty classic of the Armenian lifters.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be off to Armenia in April for the European Championships. Europeans goes to Armenia this year. So if they compete well here, they'll probably compete even better at their home competition. It tends to be the case.
Yeah, as we've seen from Colombia so far. Phenomenal worlds for them.
Okay, opening attempt now for Paredes from Ecuador. 3 countries here with 2 athletes in them. Ecuador's one of them.
Ooh.
Wow.
Very fast pull, yeah. A little bit wild at the top there. Got really far behind the bar. And
another good opening attempt.
Almost looked like a very fast, almost micro adjustment as soon as she caught it.
101 stays on the barbell.
But made it look pretty comfortable.
Mexico, second attempt.
Yeah, very strong.
Jimenez,
great lockout.
Kim Jimenez, Ecuador, 101. Time begins.
So Jimenez, the second Ecuadorian lifter, will come out next for her second attempt at 101 kilos.
Jimenez de Ecuador, segundo levantamiento de arranque.
Looks like a change has gone in there.
Another
You
change,
see a lot of
102
this.
kilograms, please.
Athletes really
Helen
moving around it.
Escobar.
Another one from Ecuador
Colombia,
as well.
first attempt.
So I think we're going to see Escobar come out for her another changes.
Lista la
Going
palanqueta
in to
con
103
kilogramos.
kilos.
The camera crew has learned that the changes occur. They come over and film us.
First attempt,
There's just so much
representing
movement
Colombia.
in these
Eileen
sessions.
Echeverria.
Everybody wanting to just be that first one to take the weight or a kilo ahead of the last one who took it.
Okay, opening attempt now for the first of the two Colombian lifters, Echeverria. Now at her last competition, she took the bronze medal at the Pan American Championships. She snatched 103 kilos there. Her best is 106, so an aggressive opener.
Wow, very solid opener.
Such a nice lift.
Yeah, she gets a lot of speed off of her hips in that pull.
Good
She gets behind the bar. We see that
Echeverria.
style is very consistent amongst the Colombians. Really
102,
dominant.
still on the
They're used to the hips and the extension versus
Nolasco,
what we see maybe more
Mexico,
traditional
second
technique from
102
Eastern
kilogramos
Europe
y
with
la
that
oportunidad para otra latina.
vertical extension from the
Lisbeth
legs.
Nolasco de México, segundo intento.
It's nice to see in front of us a lot of Armenian athletes come to watch this session to cheer on their two lifters. We have the US fan base not far by. Second attempt now for Hernandez. There's a 4 kilo jump from her opener.
Takes a moment to get that grip set perfect. She's rocking back and forth, trying to set that bar deep into her hand. Much slower pull than the first. Looked a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just overall, not quite as much speed or power there.
You know, Max, you mentioned her trying to get her grip. She's got a very wide grip. And I spoke to one of the athletes from Sweden earlier who'd competed, and he wasn't able to make any of his snatches. He was the first athlete out, and he told me that when he got to the bar, there was almost no knurling in the final inch or so before at either end. And he hadn't come onto the platform with chalk, and he said that he pulled and he wasn't even able to maintain his grip.
That's unfortunate.
So hopefully the bar will have been changed for this session, and obviously it's a different bar here, but for the men's 102s later. Most athletes there, at least plenty, will be collar to collar. 4 kilo jump now for Quinones from Ecuador.
Beautiful. Yeah. Very solid. She's also the youngest lifter here, so it's nice to see how sharp she looks already.
102 kilograms, again, one more time. Representing Mexico, the third attempt, Lisbeth Nolasco.
Now, Max, how long was our made lift streak? We've only had 2 misses, but since then we've only had 1 made lift since, but we had a pretty good
Pretty
show
good run
there.
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
That's been pretty good for this World Championship. I think we've had 2 4 made lift streaks in this one very session.
Yeah, they're definitely holding it up, though. So the 102 before this was a little bit slower than our opener. It is a 4 kilo jump. Just getting set. Really takes time to get the grip set tight there. Potentially that wide grip makes it a little bit harder to hold the bar, so you want it to feel secure. Yeah, just a bit slow there.
Yeah. Almost overcompensation to having thrown it so far back on that second attempt. All 3 pulls pretty slow, but she's on the board of 98 kilos at least.
Representing Colombia, first attempt, Helen Escobar.
So we have Helen Escobar coming out now, who again echoes what the other Colombians have told us about how difficult training has been this year. She mentioned she competed 6 times, but she snatched 106 kilos this year. No injuries. Pretty heavy opener, but if she's anything like the other Colombian in this category, that opener shouldn't be too much of an issue. One kilo up over her teammate, Echeverria. There'll be a battle between those two, as we've seen from every Colombian duo so far at this World Championships.
Yep. Oh, very nice snatch. Solid opener for her.
Good lift, Escobar.
She's a specialist in the clean and jerk for sure. Much better in that lift. She's done 135, I believe.
That's the
very solid.
increase for, and she's moving up.
And Max, you know, they were selling those Colombian singlets at the start of this competition.
Did you pick up a few?
Well, no, a few people messaged us if we could grab them some, and we were a bit too late. Clearly a favorite. Hot off the shelves, people took them pretty quickly.
We've heard a story that the singlet was designed by a famous artist, a famous South American artist. I think we'll have to dig deeper and find out who that was.
Yeah. Okay, 103 kilos now, final attempt. That 100 on a second attempt was a personal best for Khachatryan. This a 4 kilo personal best.
Oh, great attempt to get under it, but just collapsing the chest there, and the upper back becomes a little bit less stable, and then the bar rolled forward, or sorry, back.
Yeah, we've seen a few athletes do that, sort of collapsing the back a little bit just to find either a little bit more depth or just to prevent the bar from going too far back. It sort of works both ways. Some athletes pull it off, some don't. Occasionally we see it in the clean and jerk, which is extraordinary.
I think last night we saw Romain Amadou-Shane basically crumble under a clean. We thought it was
his
done
top 2
for,
cleans.
And he just stood right up as though there was nothing on the bar.
There's a great moment, video in the back room of him as he realizes he's won the gold medal in the clean and jerk. Fantastic. He stood in the back room watching the board and finds out that he does take home that gold. Here's the opening attempt of the Olympian, Kim Su-hyeon. She snatched 112 kilos this year, she told us. Very fun athlete to film in the training hall. Spent quite a lot of time talking with her about her training, about South Korean training in general.
Yeah.
Very good lifter.
She's always got a very positive disposition as well.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful snatch. Yeah, very solid. That's a strong opener for her.
When I was talking to her last, I said to her, I was looking around to try and work out how many Olympians there were in the team. And I thought to myself, I'm not sure I can see any other Olympians here. And I said to her, are there any? And she looked around, she said no. And I said, so only you then? And she sort of put her hands around her chin, sort of fluttered her eyelids and said, yep, only me.
Yeah, she's a
very
character.
Funny. Okay, opening attempt now for the stronger of the 2 Armenians, Tatev Hakobian.
Representing Armenia, Tatev Hakobian.
Cargadores 105 kilogramos a la palanqueta y el llamado para su primer levantamiento para Tatev Hakobian de Armenia.
Strong 105 opener here is pretty heavy. We have 3 athletes left to open. She's one of them.
Yeah, this equals her best. She's made 105 kilos in almost every competition as her best snatch. There we go.
Bit of an adjustment there. She rolled back on the back of her foot, but stabilized it, yeah.
Now, I don't have her attempt selections from other competitions handy, so I don't know if she's been only making 105 on her opener at every competition, or she's in better shape now. Normally she hits on a third and opener here.
Yeah.
Very good lift. Last year at the World Championships, she was the only woman on the Armenian team. And now this year, she turned up with a full squad alongside her, which is good to see.
Yeah. So Rogers being called for 105, obviously that changed.
So what's she bumped up to? Mattie up to 106. There are currently 4 athletes with 105 kilos written in. 2 athletes still to open. Sara Ahmed at 110 and Mattie Rogers at 106. Pretty heavy opener for Mattie, but not a weight she's had too much of an issue with recently. She opened at 108 kilos at the Olympics.
First attempt was strong, but she does get behind that bar quite aggressively.
Yeah, very quick athlete. That might have been a bit nicer. Yeah. A big extension, as you mentioned, gets way back, throws the shoulders behind her. Huge hip extension. But then she just pulls herself back under the bar, back into the bar so quickly, and somehow does it without any sort of wobble when she catches it. She's straight up with it.
Yeah, very solid lifting.
She wants more weight, so 105 again. Kilian Jimenez, Ecuador, third attempt.
Okay, so we're just running through the 105s here. I wonder if we're going to see Quinones from Ecuador take this. Her last lift at 105 kilos.
Yep, I think we see her coming out here in the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, considering her best snatch this year, she said was 102. This is massive. Her best clean and jerk this year so far has been 133. So if she's in the same shape as she is in the snatch, we could see her get all new yearly records. This will be a 4 kilo international record, which she hit at the Pan American Champs this year. 101 kilos she made there.
Oh, wow. Great snatch. That was fantastic at the bottom. She
absolutely amazing.
Turned that bar over so well, got it right where it belonged.
And she had that classic save that you see in weightlifting where you catch it rock bottom, instantly you sort of extend the knees a couple of inches and then you just freeze in this almost artificial bottom position, and then you eventually come up once you've found some balance.
So solid.
Okay, so Mattie Rogers from the USA will now come out. She's medaled at her last 4 World Championships. This opener, not the heaviest she's ever opened with, though as far as I can tell, it's maybe the 3rd heaviest opener of her career. She's hit 108 kilos in this category before as an opener. That was at the Pan American Championships this year. And she made 108 for her opener at the Olympic Games also. So she must be feeling good, Max. She looked great in the training hall.
Yeah, so strong.
Her pull is looking on another level
very
to
powerful.
how she was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was such a vertical, beautiful extension she has there. Oftentimes she would end up being a little bit rushed in the transition and kick that bar forward, loop the bar a bit, but here we see a really solid snatch technique.
You know, oftentimes when an elite level athlete changes coaches at the height of their career, it doesn't always work out, but it's worked out brilliantly this time for Mattie Rogers. She has really found some new strength over the last few years, coached by Amy Everett. And she's also made snatch medals at 3 World Championships.
Yeah, the way this is going, we could see that again here.
Yeah. She's medaled in the clean and jerk 4 times, a total 3 times. Second attempt now for Echeverria from Colombia. Big jump here, 4 kilos. This equals her international record.
Again, very solid snatch.
Yeah, huge extension again, Max. Those shoulders getting way back behind the bar, but it just works so well for her.
Yeah, we see that a lot in South American lifters. They generally have that little bit more hip-dominant extension at the top of the pole, but they are fast.
Escobar at 107.
So it's pretty tight here. We have a lot of athletes with one or two attempts remaining, one athlete with 3 attempts remaining, of course, Sara Ahmed from Egypt, who snatched 116 kilos at the African Championships this year, 126 kilos off blocks about 2 months ago. She's certainly the favorite. Her openers suggest that too. Second attempt now for Escobar Aguirre from Colombia, another 4-kilo jump. Big second attempt.
Very nice.
Oh, wow. And Max, I don't want to jinx it, but that's 7 made lifts in a row. I believe we're currently at a World Championships record for 2022.
Yeah, this is fantastic here. A lot of successes. Everyone is inching their way up.
Yeah. We have 3 athletes with 107 kilos written in, 3 with 108 kilos written in, and then 1, the Egyptian, with 110 kilos for her opener. Athletes definitely at this point, all of them probably sniffing out a medal in the snatch. They're all capable of it. They all know they can make these third attempts or second attempts.
Paredes once more weight that will bring back Mylene Echeverria, Colombia.
Bit of jockeying around here. Paredes doesn't want the 2-kilo jump, so she's bumped up 3 kilos to 108. Echeverria has done the exact same thing. She's bumped to 108, so that's going to bring out Kim Su-hyeon for her second attempt now at 108 kilos.
Yeah, I think 110 is definitely going to be the mark to get on the podium here in the snatch.
Kim Su-hyeon snatched 106 kilos at the Olympics, 105 kilos last year at the World Championships, but her international best is 111. She's been competing internationally now since 2011, so a very long career for her.
Got the telltale smile.
Wow. She's up with a huge smile.
Let's see if that gets whites. Nope.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately. 3 reds.
She knew that.
She doesn't mind. You know, when we asked her about her training, or about this competition, she said if it's difficult or easy, she really doesn't mind. She just wants to do her best. It's a really incredible mindset to have. This, I believe, Max, 3-kilo international best for Jacobian, if she makes this.
It's a very big attempt for her.
Her opener was successful, not the most convincing opener we've seen.
Yeah, she did rock back a little bit on that. Had to stabilize. Yep. She has a good pull off the floor, but as she moves to the hips, she just doesn't have that power at the end. Kind of loses that speed.
Yeah, bar slows down a bit.
The bar's out in front, and she doesn't get that turnover she needs to get it behind her head.
Mattie Rogers, United States, second attempt.
Rogers has 108 on the board, but I think we're going to see that change. Nope, she's coming out, okay.
108 kilos. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mattie and the team are looking at this category and realizing if we can just make successful lifts, we're in for a great shot at the silver. I mean, maybe the gold, you just don't know, but certainly she's one of the athletes who could walk away with the silver medal.
Yeah, this 108 is a smart call, too, because no one else has made it yet, so she'd be the first.
Yeah.
It is the third of a few lifters here, so.
She told us that she'd made 112 kilos this year. Just done.
Almost overpulled. She had so much power there and just caught it a tiny bit too far back. She fought with it. She's a veteran competitor. She knows what to do to correct it, I'm sure.
Yeah, she contorted herself a little bit just to try and save that. Her hips tucked under. She rocked back. Everything to make the lift. Just couldn't hold on.
We have seen her do, I think she did about 110 several times in the training hall. So that
she did that from the hip.
Yeah,
on
and
her
then
first day here, she went from the hip.
She knows how to make that lift for sure.
Okay, Paredes Arriaga for Ecuador, 108 kilos. 3 kilos up. A lot of athletes have now missed 108 kilos. 3 lifters have missed it. So these other athletes are looking at it as potentially a medal opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There
the
we
best
go.
of the 3. That was very fast. She caught that bar what seemed like on the way up.
And considering there are 6 athletes with 108 kilos written in and she's the first to make it, she's going to force the other athletes to go up if they want to move ahead of her in the snatch.
Brilliant move for her. She's set herself in the best possible position she could. Made as much as she possibly could in the snatch. I don't think she had more than a kilo more than that. Yeah. Beautiful lift.
Now, unlike in the clean and jerk where we do see athletes going a kilo up, it doesn't happen quite so often in the snatch because athletes are still concerned with just making the best total they can.
Absolutely.
They don't want to get forced into a race for a medal in the snatch when really they end up losing their eye on the clean and jerk and total,
well,
particularly the total.
The old saying goes, snatch what you can, clean and jerk what you must.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times around these competitions. Echeverria now, 108, personal best.
Looked to be good, but just moving back too far. One of the possible downsides of having that very prominent big hip extension, shoulders moving back, is it can create a little bit of horizontal displacement of the bar, and that can loop it just a little more than you need.
Yeah, I saw her training alongside Jenny Alvarez, who took the gold medal in the women's 59s. About a week and a half ago, they trained together. They both snatched 100 kilos, made it look very comfortable. Of course, Alvarez, the better of the 2 athletes. But even so, Echeverria lifting pretty well here. 2 for 3, 106 she ends up with. Third attempt now for Kim Su-hyeon at 108 kilos, 3 kilos under her international best. She was called for a press out on her 2nd attempt. Oh, wow.
Looked to be better.
Yeah, definitely looked to be better. Regardless of what happens, she will smile and celebrate. She always has a good time when she competes. She's going to make that.
That's fantastic.
Brilliant stuff. You love to see it.
The celebration is just priceless.
You know, we've had some great celebrations, but they've normally been one of anger, sort of passion, a ferocious passion energy. We haven't seen any quite like that yet.
And Asians next year will actually be in South Korea, so hopefully we'll have a chance to be there and see her.
Yeah, that'll be at the early part of May 2023.
Third attempt.
So Rogers has moved, I believe.
That will bring up 109 in the barbell, please.
Yeah, you know, we know, having spoken to her recently, that Mattie is interested in trying to get a medal in the snatch, or at least a medal here to become, I believe, to have the longest streak of world medals of any US weightlifter ever. So Mattie's definitely thinking about trying to sneak a snatch medal early on to secure that title.
Trying to create that legacy for herself.
So Sara Ahmed now from Egypt will come out for her opening attempt. We saw her power snatching 100 kilos in the training hall recently. She snatched 105. She snatched over 110 kilos, in fact, in the training hall. She looks very, very strong.
Yeah, she's taking this 109 as a way to really secure her spot here. Be the first at 109. Wow, very solid.
Yeah, you know, she knows how good she is.
Good opening attempt for Samir.
Extremely strong athlete.
Yeah, that was just with authority. So she'll be first here at 109. Anyone else who makes that's going to be second and lower.
Third attempt, Helen Escobar.
Okay, another attempt now at 109 kilos. You know, potentially these athletes, suddenly they see Sara make that and they think, okay, well, if I just hit that, I can guarantee maybe a silver, because neither of the other 2 are likely to push to 110, but you never know, they might.
Yep.
I think I fancy Aguirre's chances here. Her first 2 snatches were really very strong. 103, 107. This now 109.
She's very solid technically. Just a little early.
Make it. Yeah, a little early, and she knows it. She was right there.
So.
109.
But I believe she currently still sits in a medal position with her 107. Of course, two athletes could still move ahead of her. The first who's going to try it will be Tata Kabion, who's coming up now. And then, of course, Mattie Rogers, who's asked for 109 also. She opened with 105, which equaled her international best. She's now made that 6 times. It's a huge personal best. You know, she even maybe did a little bit better coming off the hip there to maintain her speed, but she just never got herself back forward enough to catch that bar behind her.
There's just not enough velocity into the pull for her to get it back behind her head.
First up, third attempt.
Okay, final attempt now for Mattie Rogers. This is going to solidify a silver medal for her in the snatch if she makes it. She took a silver in the snatch back in 2017 as a 69 kilo lifter. Her last 2 world championships, she's managed to take the bronze in the snatch. This will be her heaviest snatch at a world championships event. Incredibly fierce athlete.
It's a hugely significant lift for her.
It's a great pull, and she's got to get up with it. Mattie Rogers becomes, I believe, the only American to ever medal in 5 consecutive world championships since 2017 through 18, 19, 21, and now 2022. She has medaled, surely, Max, just in total across all lifts, more than any other American ever at the World Championships.
Yeah, absolutely stunning.
Well, actually not ever.
Well, modern era.
Not if we go, modern era.
If we go back far enough, we can find anything. But yeah, in modern era, that is amazing. She becomes potentially the best modern weightlifter in the United States.
Yeah.
As far as consistency and
I think
world
you can give
medals.
her that. Yeah, definitely.
Phenomenal.
And that guarantees her the silver. Sara Ahmed now has 2 attempts remaining just to move as far ahead of the pack as she can. She's got the strongest clean and jerk too, so this just makes the rest of the session a bit easier. 113.
Very solid.
It is ridiculously easy.
She is just absolutely running away with the snatch competition here.
Yeah, it looks like she might have torn a callus there. She looks straight to her hand.
Yeah.
She keeps looking at it.
Potentially a minor issue.
Yeah.
Every weightlifter has torn many calluses.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't be a problem or bother them because they've done it so many times before.
Yeah, you can either grit through it, grit your teeth and bear it, or tape up a little bit or something, but it's not a session-ending injury, certainly not career-ending one.
For the clean and jerk portion of this session.
Although with that said, I've seen plenty of athletes in weightlifting gyms around the world who've stopped training because of the damage that it does to their hands. They just can't handle the pain of a torn callus.
Something significant like a torn callus or a hook nail, or your shoes were too tight.
Yeah, that can end the career. So 1 attempt remains now for Sara Ahmed. The gold will certainly go to her. She's already snatched 130 kilos. The silver is guaranteed in the snatch to Mattie Rogers from the USA. And then, Max, who hit the 108 first? I believe it was Kim Su-hyeon from Korea who made it before Paredes Arriaga from Ecuador. So I think it's going to be the Olympian Kim Su-hyeon who gets that bronze.
There's one more session later today.
I think Su-hyeon is 4th in the snatch right now.
102 kilogram
I think
group A.
3rd is going to Ecuador. Yeah, Ecuador made it. Paredes.
Ecuador with a medal. But very, very tight. I mean, we have Kim Su-hyeon also at 108. We have Aguirre with 107 kilos. Echeverria with 106. Quinones with 105. So, you know, whilst we might see Sara Ahmed move away in this session, the battle for silver and bronze is, you know, pretty much just beginning now.
Yeah, I would even go so far as to say most of the lifters in this session are better in the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
We don't really have that standout snatcher here, so it's going to be a good fight.
Okay, Sara Ahmed, final attempt. She's only competed twice since 2019 when she and the rest of the Egyptian team received that 2-year ban. She's back, not lifting quite the same numbers. She's still very, very strong. Oh, she looks at the callus. Interesting. You know, we sort of joked about that being an issue, but
yeah,
I wonder what that was.
You know, potentially it was painful enough and it just got in her head enough that, you know, also the significance of that lift, she really doesn't necessarily need that. She's ahead enough. But yeah, a bit odd. Not what I would have expected.
No, for an athlete as strong as her to
pull
on that bar and not get under it. Yeah, seasoned is quite a strange end to this session. She must be feeling confident enough in her clean and jerks, because to leave herself, you know, only within 4 kilos of Mattie Rogers, who can get over 140 kilos.
Yeah, she's dangerous in the clean and jerk. So,
although, you know, I did see Sara Ahmed hit 145 in the training hall less than a week ago. So, you know, she probably is going to be able to pull away, but we'll have to wait and see.
She is dealing with the callus.
She is dealing with a torn callus, and as we can see, that can take any athlete out.
Yeah.
So the gold medal in the snatch to Sara Ahmed, 113 kilos. And then the silver to Mattie Rogers from the USA, a 5th straight World Championships in which she's been able to claim a medal. The bronze to Arriaga from Ecuador. And with the same lift at 108 kilos, but taking the 4th, is Kim Su-hyeon from Korea. We have an athlete, Aguera, at 107 kilos. An athlete at 106, Echeverria. And then at 105, Quinones. So things are extremely tight here in this session.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of people here basically just under that 130 mark in the clean and jerk. Obviously, those are their declared openers. We'll see that probably move around a bit. So basically, everyone's going to end here. Well, most people will end here between 130 and 140. And then we'll start to see that high 30s to just low 40s being the mark that really separates those on the podium from those not.
Stunning 106 there on our screens from Echeverria. 107 from her teammate, Aguera. Got a lot of these athletes getting personal bests in the lifts today, which is great to see. And that, just the speed with which she's able to get under 108 kilos.
Such a beautiful snatch.
Yeah, Arriaga is very, very powerful. So happy with her lifting there. She sneaks that bronze. And then in 4th place, with the same lift, Kim Su-hyeon. Again, I don't know who was happier. I think probably Kim Su-hyeon.
Yeah, I'm not sure it even mattered what happened on the lift. She probably would have done that little celebration for everyone.
I'm not sure I've seen anyone as happy as Kim Su-hyeon. Very confident opener there by Sara Ahmed. Of course, that's solidified her the lead regardless of what then happened. Mattie matched it, having missed 108 kilos to go up a kilo and make that. Just again shows the experience that she's had in this sport.
Yeah, she's rightfully earned herself a spot in weightlifting, United States weightlifting history as one of the best, if not the best.
So 7 minutes on the clock now until we get back underway. We were fortunate enough to catch up with Mattie Rogers. She told us that training overall has been going pretty well. A few bumps, few roadblocks, as to be expected, but nothing too terrible. She said that she's probably in the best shape of her career, which is exciting because a lot of the time, as you've referenced before, Max, athletes won't say that. They don't want to big themselves up. They don't want to say that they're in great shape and they think they can get a record, because it sets themselves up for the possibility of not making it. Whereas there's something very exciting, there's something great about the fact that she's willing to just say, you know, this is the best I've ever been. And in fact, it really is. She made 109 kilos. That's more, I believe, than she's ever made as a 76 kilo lifter.
Yeah.
Is that right? She snatched 111 as... Oh, no, she did do 111 at the Pan American Championships. But other than that, 109 kilos is way up there. She's made it at 81. Of course, she competed at the Olympics at 87. She was forced to gain a lot of weight barely weighed in over the 81 kilo mark to make weight for that. Normally athletes talk about making weight by cutting down. She had to make weight by being heavy enough to compete.
Yeah, that was a struggle too. It sounds like an easy lifestyle to gain weight. Obviously, I've perfected
really
that.
Oh, you've done a great job.
Yes, but yeah, it's hard for athletes too. You know, you're training a lot, and to gain weight that's useful. Muscle
You're
mass.
not so good at that, I suppose.
That's definitely falls short in that category, but it's challenging.
Yeah.
And it sounds simple, but that's a struggle. You know, changes everything about your lifting, the dynamics of it, you know, your work capacity, everything.
Yeah,
So.
Mattie told us that she's been continuing to refine her technique. Specifically, she said, in the pull portions of the lifts, she's continuing to gain strength. She sort of notes that every additional kilo in strength in the strength lifts makes a huge impact in her classic lifts, because she's a relatively efficient rather than strong lifter. She's the kind of lifter, Max, where if you add a kilo to her back squat, you add 600 grams to her snatch and 800 grams to her clean and jerk, and she sort of manages to maintain that 60-80% ratio with every additional kilo in the legs. 4.5 minutes now, and we'll be back underway. Kim Su-hyeon, who we saw extremely happy after her maid lift at 108 kilos. Once again, we spoke to her. She told us that she had 143 kilos in the clean and jerk, which is a monstrous lift to get overhead. My fear here would be, we know she has had injuries in the past in the elbow. It took her out of the Olympic Games. But also the Korean athletes, a lot of them have hit enormous lifts in training, but they have done it with pretty wobbly elbows. You can get away with that in the training hall or back home, maybe even at a national meet. But a lot of Korean athletes have really struggled at this World Championships, being given white lights. They'll regularly make a lift and stand them up, but they end up walking away with 3 reds.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where you maybe you get away with it in grandma's basement, but when you're in front of a strict jury or referee, you're not going to get the same treatment.
Yeah, the Koreans known for lifting, of course, in the basement of their grandparents.
Yes.
So an apt comparison there, Max. Yeah, she mentioned, though, that she's been focusing on just accuracy, technique, and confidence with around 80% of her maximum lifts. We asked her how she feels just competing with the other incredible women in the session. She said it's an honor to be with them, which is really great to see.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very good session here. It's very tight. The battle was still totally undecided for basically all the podium spots.
You know, one of the things I always enjoy about asking athletes various questions in preparation for the commentary is that we get such a range of responses. You know, some athletes like to go in depth, some not so much. You know, the example of when we asked Mattie Rogers about what she's been working on, she told us the specifics of the pull, what she's trying to achieve. However, when we spoke to Milena Kachatrian, we said, what are you focusing on in training? She replied, my training.
Well, and, to the point.
It is to the point. So, you know, not many words from Milena, but she has done well. I mean, she became the European Youth Champion this year. She snatched 100 kilos. 99 kilos there. That was a personal best. She made 100 here. Did she even take an attempt? Yeah, she took an attempt at 103. Wasn't able to make it, but she'll be happy to be walking away with a personal best. She also mentioned that she'd done 120 kilos in the clean and jerk. Right now, her opening attempt is 120 kilos, so she must be feeling pretty strong heading into this. The opener, it looks like, is going to go to Velasco from Mexico. She didn't open up the snatch. That was Celia Gold. Celia Gold will be out pretty early on in the clean and jerks too. She's asked for 117 on her opener. And then for those of you wondering, we have Kim Su-hyeon, the athlete in 4th place. She's asked for 135, as has Mattie Rogers, who currently sits in the silver. The athlete currently with the bronze, however, is only asking for 125 kilos, a little bit low down. So she's going to have to make all 3 lifts if she wants to hang on. There'll be athletes who are looking to move ahead of her. Echeverria, who's only 2 kilos down in the snatch, has asked for 3 kilos more in the clean and jerk, presumably for that very reason. And of course the athlete who's out in front, Sara Ahmed, is asking for 140 on her opening attempt.
Yeah, very, very large attempt. We'll see her probably make adjustments there to just try to hold on ahead of whoever is in second by the time that clean and jerk comes around.
Yeah.
Just less than a minute here to the first lift. And again, we're probably going to see some similar moves, potentially not, because we have the first lifter here at 115. They're a good 5 kilos below the second lifter there at 120. So we might have Nolasco following herself here.
Yeah, definitely possible, particularly if Celia Gold bumps up.
World Championships,
which,
Bogota,
you know, Celia Gold might do,
Colombia,
because
2022.
she might be looking to outlift Nolasco. She's only 2 kilos down in the snatch, so if she bumps up and tries to force Nolasco to tie herself out with 3 or 2 attempts back to back, she could potentially look to move ahead of her. Okay, so we are back underway. The opening attempt looks like it's going to be 115 kilos for Nolasco from Mexico. She is going to come out for it. She's got a very slow pull in both snatch and the clean. Ultimately, there's a point at which the bar moves too slowly for you to make it, so hopefully she doesn't approach that too soon in her 3 attempts.
115. Bit forward there.
Yeah.
That happens as the bar moves past the knees and the athlete starts to transition. The bar doesn't move back any further. They start to move themselves, their hips towards the bar, causes it to decelerate and ultimately not reach the position it needs to on the chest.
Mexico, second attempt, 2 minutes.
Yeah, as soon as you start pulling on that bar, you and that bar become one sort of system, and you've got to keep the balance of you and that bar to remain over the middle of your foot. If it starts getting away and you start pulling towards it, you start pulling yourself forward.
Yeah.
Especially as we're so far over body weight in the snatch, over body weight with this clean and jerk. As you pull towards the bar, you're more likely to pull yourself further to the bar than you are the bar to you.
Yeah, it's a bad position to be in, especially technically. Let's see, she's going to stay here. It looks like she's probably just going to repeat this. It's been 1:30. We haven't seen an increase yet. Probably a wise move.
She's looking focused there. Fortunately, in many ways, she didn't stand it up, which means that she's not going to have exerted as much energy, as much strength on that opening attempt as she may otherwise have. So hopefully she's got it in her to be able to come out and stand this up. She just has to hold that weight further back, just get her balance a little bit further away from those toes, more towards the midfoot.
Representing Mexico, second attempt, Lisbeth Nolasco.
.115, second attempt. She missed the clean the first time, but it's just a bit forward. She can be patient and move that bar towards her the entire length of the pull.
It's very similar. This time she's able to rock back a touch, but
the problem there is when you land on your toes and then settle backward and rock back, you lose any of that rebound you're going to get, any of that stretch reflex. It starts to diminish. You're in a worse position. And if you don't have particularly strong legs, getting out of that paused position is so challenging.
And if you don't settle and you do try to use that stretch reflex, you're going to be moving forward. So you very quickly have to get up and take a step forward with one of your legs just to try and, you know, get back under that bar.
Yeah, another situation which is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, both instances require excessive leg strength to make a lift like that.
Yeah, a lot of cases we see at the highest levels, the clean is generally not as big of a struggle for athletes as the jerk is, simply because they've done so many cleans, they've spent so much time developing that general strength, that by the time they get here, the clean is almost just a utilitarian entity that they do to basically get themselves ready for the jerk. Although not true of everybody. Some people do struggle in the clean, so we're seeing that here.
Now, whilst we wait for Nolasco's third attempt, it's worth reminding everybody this is an Olympic qualifier. It's the first Olympic qualifying event for Paris 2024. That's why there's been a record number of attendance of athletes at this competition. The way that you qualify, however, for Paris, very different to how you qualified for Tokyo. Rather than athletes having to, average out 4 great performances to get solidify their ranking position, athletes here just have to participate 4 times, but really they only need 1 big total. Whichever is the heaviest total gets ranked alongside all other athletes, and that becomes your ranking position. Of course, this isn't a Olympic category itself, but a lot of these athletes can still transfer their total from the 76s up into the 81s, which is an Olympic category. So we might see some quite aggressive attempts here.
She was better on the second attempt than the first. She brings it back and catches a rebound. It's her best chance. Oh, much better.
Yeah, she's only just up with it.
Oh, so good. She's got on the board 3 attempts to make that clean and jerk, but she is there.
Oh my word. Yeah, that was pretty tough stuff. You can see the release of emotion there. It's when you're in that sort of situation, you just can't let yourself start catastrophizing and panicking too much. You have to stay focused, and then it's only after you make the lift or potentially even miss it that suddenly you realize just how stressful a situation you've been in for the last 5 minutes, and the emotion just comes out. But Nolasco is on the board. Max, that's a situation where she really put in an enormous entry total for herself.
Yeah.
And was forced to open extremely heavy to make the 20-kilo rule.
Yeah.
And that's why she ended up missing 2 attempts.
Made the bookends there. First snatch, last jerk.
Celia Gold, similar thing.
A very strong clean, though. Comfortable.
So, again, the clean
clean
jerks off to a pretty tough start. We haven't seen such a successful snatching session as we have at this one. Every single athlete made their opener, which is remarkable. But the clean and jerk's not underway quite as these athletes would have hoped. And of course, all of these misses just throw the timings of the other athletes.
Yeah.
The athletes who are coming out at 135 or even 140 kilos, it's not going to affect them so much, because the difference of coming out in 15 minutes as opposed to 18 minutes time doesn't matter too much. You're so far away, you can make the slight change. But for these athletes who are looking to come out at 120 kilos, like Kachatrian, this delay makes quite a big difference for them.
Yeah, you also have to wonder, is this going to be 2-minute clocks or 1-minute clock, or is she going to move up?
There are 3 more days of competition following this one.
Or stay. It looks like she's staying, obviously, but
yeah, I think that's a wise decision.
Yeah.
She can make this clean pretty easily. I wonder if she's able to catch that first bounce. She might even have a little bit more energy. It's certainly not a strength issue, that miss.
Please welcome back to the platform, Celia Gold, Israel. Second attempt,
so Celia Gold will come back out for her second attempt. She snatched brilliantly well for her international debut. 93 and 96. 2 for 3 there. If successful, she gets her first international total at a World Championships as well.
A lot of pull here. She's pulled the bar high, racked it, but it has crashed on her a bit, which really just kind of kills some of the timing of that rebound. The more efficient, the easier the clean is, the lighter that bar is going to feel in your chest. Gives you more confidence. You have much better clean.
Wow.
Yeah, so much smoother.
Yeah, that's a great job.
Yep, beautiful correction.
Yep.
She's on the board.
And really fantastic use of the oscillation there.
That's it, good.
You know, she dips. There's a brief pause in the bottom of the dip as that bar continues to move downwards, then starts moving up. She drives, and it just gets that extra little bit of pop at the top of the jerk. Brilliant lockout as well.
So nice, yeah. Great lockout.
That back knee so nicely. I mean, everything about that lift was pretty close to perfection.
Yeah, great technician.
Keeps her hands on the bar even as it touches the ground. That's textbook. That's how you taught to lift A1. Okay, we have the junior European champion, Elena Khachaturian now. She set a personal best in the snatch at 100 kilos. She's now looking to open, I believe this might be her personal best in the clean and jerk too. In fact, no, it's a kilo less. She made 121 kilos at the 2021 European Junior Champs. But even so, it's a fiendishly heavy opener for her.
Yeah, this is a very big opener. Good clean all around.
Wow, I mean, it's incredible, but
Good
I'd be shocked if she gets given it. Both arms, particularly her right elbow, look to bend
2-1.
Fair amount. Look at her. Did you see her expression?
We see a jury
She
stop,
cannot
though.
believe it.
The
jury, quite rightly, are going to take a look at that.
They have no interest in that one passing.
Although, you know what?
It is close, actually.
Yeah, it's much more close than you might think. There's a lot of funkiness with that jerk.
Actually, it looks to be a good lift from here. Her shoulders are lopsided. She caught it, but she caught it at arm's length. It's just that her shoulders are tilted.
It almost stays at that angle as she sort of sinks deeper and deeper, and then she twists her torso and she leans over.
I think it works because she's got quite a bit of external rotation of the shoulder there. Elbows are pointed forward to some, or internal rotation, sorry.
Oh, the jury's overturned it. It's going to be a no lift. And Max, you know, athletes are always told by their coaches to sell the lift. She did the exact opposite. She made the lift, looked disappointed, saw the lights come on, and she gasped, put her hands to her mouth as if shocked, stunned.
They're playing
a challenge card. Now this is, you have to assume, in fact we should explain what's happening here. The referees originally gave it a good lift. The jury then looked at it and said it's a no lift. And then the team said to the jury, are you sure that you think that? Now, of course, it's very unlikely the jury changes their mind, but it's a good tactic to use if the Armenian team wants to buy a little bit extra time, because this just adds to the 2-minute clock that she's already going to get. You know, she's had a little bit of time, so she might be fresh after this.
Conversation with a coach, the Tongan coach, the other day, and we were discussing the use of the challenge card. You know, it has a strategic purpose if you use it exactly for what you said, to just, you know, you're going to take that same weight and you just want to buy yourself a little bit of extra time. You know full well it's not going to get overturned, but you get the extra time. Getting some significant booing from the crowd.
But you know, a lot of booing. Wow.
He doesn't look happy.
Yeah, we have the Armenian team ahead of us. We can see Hakop Makrichian, we can see Simon Martirosyan, all booing. Tell you what, you don't want Martirosyan booing at you. That's a scary man, especially now that he's weighing 130 kilos.
Yes.
A lot of athletes in the crowd here. Second attempt now. She's had as much rest as she could possibly hope for. This will be a personal record in the total if she makes this lift.
Better clean.
Yeah, very strong again.
She settles completely still before starting, so there's no oscillation here. Little bump.
Oh, that's better.
Way better.
Yeah. You know, I assumed the way that she was able to make that last lift, must just be how she makes her jerks. But then she made that one look so good, so professional, that clearly it was a bit of a extraordinary lift for her.
Yep.
But she's on the board, 220 kilos in the total.
So she's got the 1 kilo increase. This is going to bring out Celia Gold. Obviously, well, we don't know if she's going to bump up or not. She has been waiting a moment.
Third attempt.
Could see possibly one. Nope, she's taking 121.
And these athletes have all now had to wait a little bit longer than they thought. And I'm a little bit concerned for the older of the two Armenians, Tatev Hachobian, who was put in her 122 kilos. She's presumably waited at least 5 minutes longer than she would have thought that she'd need to wait because of all these missed lifts and, you know, jury interventions.
Good clean. She did rock back, but wasn't that heavy.
Wow.
Solid jerk again.
Yep, great lifting for the international debut of Celia Gold. She misses 2 lifts, one in the snatch, one in the clean and jerk, but she'll end up with a 96 kilo snatch, 121 kilo clean and jerk. However, that's not going to be enough to surpass athletes from the B session. We had Nerly Bakova from Kazakhstan, total 223, and with 229 kilos, we saw the athlete from Canada. So a lot of lifters here still not quite at that total.
Very powerful pull. She almost power cleaned that. She did.
Oh, that is such a press out. It's one of the biggest press outs I think I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Honestly, I mean, we need a replay on that.
Well, how do you really feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed to have seen it.
Well, we could see as she dipped at the bottom of the dip, her chest just collapsed and that bar was forward. It's so hard to get power out of the drive when the bar rolls forward on you like that.
I believe you call that a jerk press.
I'm not sure we're even going to get a replay on that one.
Nah, I don't think anybody needs to see that again. Although I think we're going to get one.
Yeah, so take note of what happens to her chest here in the bottom of the dip. Collapsed a bit, bar rolled forward.
Wow.
Yeah.
She doesn't look comfortable
Yeah.
with that way overhead.
She knew it the second she started that drive.
So a tough start in the clean and jerks for both Armenians. They both missed their openers. But we didn't see the Armenian team play the same card as they did, literally the same card as they did with Kachatrian, and
yeah, well,
put in a challenge.
They knew where that would have ended them. 122, she's going to stay here.
Representing Armenia, second attempt, Tatev Hachobian.
She's a very strong lifter, but she just has some minor technical things that seem to get in her way a few times. A little bit in the snatch at the top of the pull, and then just being able to get that jerk dialed in perfectly. Very powerful. Strong clean. She has to drive this straighter.
Much better again.
Yeah, better.
Both Armenians who have transformative second attempts.
Well, sometimes the best coaching cue you can get is 3 red lights.
Wow, you've just been pulling these out of your back pocket, haven't you, Max? You've got a little notebook of things to say.
I stayed up all night. I wrote about 50 of these down for the rest
How
of the
many have we had so far? 49?
Yeah.
So that was just 5 kilos below her best, but she's been dropping in body weight for a while now. She was an 87. That's where she hit 127 kilos. She then dropped to 81 and now to 76. So she's actually in pretty good shape considering this new lighter bodyweight category.
She's called for 25, which still is going to cause her to repeat herself here, to follow herself.
But it will move her ahead of the top lift from the B session. 229 is the total to beat. That would give her 230.
Smart move.
7 athletes, of course, still yet to come out. Sara Ahmed with the heaviest opener at 140 kilos. We have 3 with 128. That is Aguera, Arriaga, and Echeverria. We have Quinones with 127, and then 2 athletes with 135. It's going to be a great battle here between them, Mattie Rogers and Kim Su-hyeon. Mattie's got a kilo up on Kim Su-hyeon in the snatch, but realistically, I would have thought those are going to be the 2 athletes battling for the silver medal.
So please welcome her back.
Representing coming back out for 25
kilograms, third attempt, Tatev Hakob-Yan.
Her clean was a bit tougher on that second attempt. She did catch, pulled it plenty high, but caught it a little far back on her heels and struggled just a tiny bit through the middle.
I've seen more confident looking coaches. There's a touch forward, but she's up with it. Same thing as you mentioned on the first one, Max, with that chest just dipping, and she might be the first athlete of the session to fall prey to dizziness, be it the weight or the altitude, or most likely the coupling of the two. But she gets off the platform on her own.
First attempt for Ecuador.
We're now into the essentially second group here now. 127 as an opener. We're going to start moving up towards that 130 mark.
Okay, opening attempt now for Quinones. She snatched 105 kilos, which puts her within 3 kilos of the bronze medalism, the bronze snatch of 108. This lift will instantly, on her opener, move her ahead of everyone from that B session.
She's the youngest competitor here in this session.
Yeah.
Very strong clean.
Wow.
Solid jerk as well.
Yeah, she throws that bar so high. You know, she's very similar in many ways in the snatch as she is in the clean and jerk. Very explosive. Big extension at the top of the pull. Powerful.
Colombia, first attempt.
Okay, so we're really getting into now the opening attempts of the athletes who are going to be battling out. A lot of these athletes battling out for total spots, clean and jerk medals, or just trying to be the athlete who comes in 4th rather than 6th. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if 4th through 7th is separated by 2 or 3 kilos in the session.
Yeah, based on where these people are at right now, I think that's a fair assessment.
We have one outlier in the snatch in terms of how strong she was. Then a couple of athletes a little bit too low down, but then the bulk of these athletes, 7 of them, I'd say, all extremely close.
Well, we just saw basically everybody bump to 130.
Wow.
In the clean here. Wow. Just like that here. We're at the 130 mark.
We saw this happen yesterday in the women's 71s. A couple of athletes opening up in the 20s, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it gets to the main pack, and everybody bumps up. And you get the big 5s on, and the competition really gets underway. We've got a 10 kilo jump put in for Khachatryan. Considering she missed 120 on her opener, made it on a second, that 10 kilos a little bit, I don't know, a little bit risky maybe.
Wow, that was a powerful clean. Oh, she has ample strength here. That was a very comfortable opener.
Yeah, and she may well be having the best performance of her career. I mean, she hit an enormous 108 kilo snatch. She went 3 for 3, took the bronze medal in the snatch. She looks brilliantly, then she comes out and makes that opening clean and jerk as well.
Yeah. So strong. One of the only 2 athletes in the session to actually go 3 for 3 in the snatch as well.
Yeah, I mean 3 kilo personal best in the snatch, and then she's opening up a kilo under her best clean and jerk, which she hit at the 19th Bolivarian Games very recently. Worth noting though, she is the junior world champion from this year. Now up though, we have Echeverria from Colombia. A lot of support from the audience. A lot of Colombians here to watch their two athletes.
Wow, big pull from the hips there. Makes that readjustment. A very solid jerk.
You know, we saw, I would say, Arriaga looking potentially a little bit stronger in her opener, but Echeverria is on the board with a 236 kilo total, 2 attempts remain. Currently, she's in the second place spot, but she gets way back behind the bar, doesn't she, and just hops forward. Now this is quite a remarkable jump. She was given her opener, but then the jury turned it down. She made it on a second attempt at 120 kilos. Now we're 10 kilos up.
Yeah.
This is a 9 kilo international record.
This is a massive attempt. 10 kilos from her second. Wow.
Oh my word, the depth with which she caught that
Can
lift.
she recover? Oh my god.
Oh wow. Simon Martirosyan and the other Armenians are standing to watch this.
Oh my gosh, what an incredible attempt. I hope she's okay. She landed with her the front of her hip on the platform almost.
I was nervous when she dropped that behind. Her trailing leg was not particularly low, but she managed to pull it out and escape. She caught that bar deeper than anyone so far in this session.
Yeah, she landed a little bit forward and then drove her hips in between her legs. Amazing recovery as well.
That's unbelievable.
She's smiling, so nothing's damaged, hopefully.
A change. 131, Echeverria, Colombia, second
And you know what? If you're not in a position to fight for a medal, then where best to take a 9 kilo personal record attempt than at the World Championships.
Good point. So we've got 131 on the bar, but Echeverria is probably not going to take that. Let's see where these jumps end up taking us to.
So this looks likely a 5 kilo jump from Canones of Ecuador to 132. This will put her at 237 kilos in the total. Move her just behind Arriaga, just ahead of Echeverria. A big Pan American battle in this A session.
Her opener was quite strong. Didn't quite catch a bounce, but has the legs to stand it up. Oh,
wow.
Pretty easy work in the jerk, too.
Yeah, what a brilliant lift. So she moves up into a strong position. She has 1 attempt remaining. Next, interestingly, over half of the athletes in this field from Pan America. We notice as the weight categories change, there seems to be a bit of an emphasis on which part of the world tends to dominate.
Yeah.
We don't see as many Pan American lifters in the lighter categories. As we get heavier, it moves towards Pan America and Europe. But absolute dominance. I mean, the Pan American Championships in the 76s must be extraordinary.
So Escobar out now with 133 for her opener.
This to move into the lead with 240 kilos. She's one of 4 athletes still yet to open. points to her elbows, acknowledging a lack of lockout.
Very good clean. A little adjustment on the hands again. Strong jerk.
Yeah.
Very
A
good,
little
yes.
bow there. A lot of the lifters from Pan America just drive the bar so high in the jerk.
Yeah.
We saw that with Quinones, we saw it with Echeverria, and now with Aguirre.
Korea.
Yeah, South American lifters here have really excelled in the jerk for the most part.
Smart attempts here now. Kim Su-hyeon, her opener, will take 133 to move her into the lead by a kilo. And I imagine with the 4 lifters who are battling out now, plus Mattie Rogers when she opens up, it's just going to be the athletes going round and round, moving back ahead.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of very close attempts, probably bouncing back and forth between those medal positions.
So now we have the happiest athlete in weightlifting, Kim Su-hyeon. Excited to get underway with her clean and jerks. Brilliant.
Very solid jerk too.
Max, she's been smiling for the last 10 seconds.
Good lift, Kim.
Brilliant.
She's having the time of her life here.
Yeah.
Enjoying herself thoroughly at these lifts.
Looking a little bit tired, altitude getting to some of these athletes. But that's a great start.
So second attempt here for Paredes. She made an incredibly strong opening lift. Surplus of power in the clean, and the jerk was just dynamic.
And once again, an athlete who's looking to move into the lead by a kilo. Just gradually, each athlete will probably do this exact same thing. A little bit of a hitch in the clean, but she's up with it. Oh,
completely different lift than her opener. That looked significantly harder.
Yeah, mistiming of both clean and the jerk. I mean, that hitch there, Max.
Yeah.
You know, briefly, it almost looks like the bar stops. It even looks like it drops to some degree, just loses all momentum.
Yeah, that just really throws a whole new variable into the system when you clean like that.
de Colombia.
So Echeverria now. She won't look to take a jump to the lead, but she will make a jump for the bronze right now, for as long as this lasts at least. She does have 2 attempts though.
Wow. Yeah, astonishing that she cleaned that weight and bounces out.
But can she jerk it? This is enormous. Knee sleeves, interesting, down by her ankles.
Yeah, that was a massive attempt at a clean. She jumped forward at least a foot, and it just crashed on her. She had to double bounce, triple bounce to get up. It's very
almost
challenging.
like she, you know, she opens up at the knees and the hips and leans back so far, but the bar is barely moving vertically as she does it because she doesn't finish taller.
Yeah.
And just doesn't look like she's making the most of her strength there in the pole.
Paredes, the athlete now, third attempt, 134 kilograms.
So, like we said, we're seeing a lot of movement here. These lifts are really determining placing, so everyone's being as precise as they can with taking something they know they can make or taking the lift that they know they need.
Maylene Echeverria, Colombia, third attempt.
Okay, so Echeverria is going to have to follow herself here, I think. Doesn't look like no, she is. She's going to bump up. That's going to bring out our penultimate athlete left to open, Mattie Rogers from the USA. Is she making a change? Yes, she is.
137.
Looks like 137. Now, she opened up at 138 kilos at the Olympic Games. She had a tough time. She missed it twice before making it on her third attempt. As far as I can see, 138 kilos is her heaviest opener ever.
Yeah, she's only past the 140 mark, or matched the 140 or past it 2 competitions.
2 times, yeah. Both at Pan American Championships in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah, that 141 she did was earlier this year, though, in the 76 class, so not too far from her abilities.
Though, of course, the Arnold Championships counts. Does it count as an international?
I don't believe so.
No? International athletes come and compete at it, but...
The competition can,
yeah,
yes,
the competition, yeah.
Not as a qualification event.
No. Although it was a qualifier for the Tokyo Olympics. Bronze tier, yeah. Okay, final attempt now.
Oh, brilliant clean.
Second attempt, sorry. Wow.
Great jerk. She is happy with that.
Yeah.
She's going to give a quick glance up to the crowd to see her coach.
And that's going to put her into the lead ahead of Kim Su-hyeon. And she has 1 attempt remaining.
Yeah.
She's so strong in the jerk. You know, she points to her elbows. She doesn't have the best lockout. I think her front foot lands before her back foot also, which is not what you're taught, but it works so well. She's looking great today.
Yeah.
4 made lifts out of 5. And she sits in the lead. Here's Quinones. She wants another 3 kilos at 135. If she makes this, it's going to move her into bronze medal position on her final attempt. Probably won't be enough to stay there for long, though.
Last clean looked like she was strong, but just mistimed the rebound. Kind of caught it at the very bottom. Yep.
Hold on. She holds on. She's okay.
Yeah.
The bar did hit her chin, but it didn't land on her. There's a bit of a gap between the bar and
catching her breath.
She's
chest. Okay.
She's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, she's an experienced lifter. She knows what to do. The issue comes when the athlete tries to let go, or you know, we've seen the odd injury where the athlete almost doesn't hold on and they have a vertical forearm.
Yep.
We've seen wrists break occasionally in this sport.
It's very rare, but we have seen some unfortunate injuries.
Famously, Zach Critch, a US 85, injured himself that way, came back after years of rehabilitation and set personal records.
Yeah, ended his career on a personal record.
So, final attempt now for Arriaga. If she makes it, she will sit in the lead. This is the final lift.
Yeah, again, a bit of a hitch there in the middle of the pole, and throws the timing off for that rebound. You can get away with a little bit more rough clean if you have the leg strength, but if you're relying on that rebound and that timing, nothing can be off.
So, unfortunately for Arriaga, she's not going to walk away with a medal in the clean and jerk. Almost certainly not in the total. She's currently in the bronze, but that won't last. But she will walk away with a bronze medal in the snatch with that 108. So, not a bad day for Team Ecuador. Final attempt now also for Echeverria at 135 kilos. This will move her into the bronze.
Holding their own in this competition quite well.
Yeah, we currently have a Colombian in the lead, and then another now, Echeverria looking for a medal. These positions, however, are far from final. 2 athletes still to come out.
Now watch this clean. She gets very far behind and jumps forward quite a bit.
Wow.
The only one she didn't jump forward on.
Yeah.
Great recovery. That's the hands.
No, not
a bit
today.
too heavy.
That's an enormous attempt for Echeverria. She's disappointed, but she has lifted pretty well today. 106 in the snatch is big for her, as is 130 in the clean and jerk. But she is going to fall outside of the total medals and the snatch and clean and jerk medals.
Kim Su-hyeon.
So we're seeing a bit more conservative jump here, 3 kilos for Kim Su-hyeon.
I think she probably knows that if she makes this, it's very unlikely that Escobar Aguirre is going to be able to catch her for the bronze. I think she assumes that both Mattie Rogers and Sara Ahmed are going to move ahead of her once they open up. So this, a smart lift, just to move back ahead of Escobar. Escobar will look to move back ahead on her third attempt, but Kim's got an attempt in hand. This to regain the lead. Oh,
good adjustment at the bottom.
Back. No, that arm's going to be bending.
Yeah. She knows she's
had the sound signal. She's going to hold it anyway. I think she knows it's a no lift. Yep. She can feel that arm wobble. So, tricky situation here. She's still in silver, but she's going to want to make that to move back into the lead ahead of Aguirre. Essentially, Max, the battle between Aguirre and Kim Su-hyeon for the bronze.
Yep, I think we're going to see Aguirre go up and take that 2-minute clock from Kim right now.
Yeah.
So Escobar's clock has started. We'll see the change get put in here probably. She'll move up.
Escobar has asked for more weight that will bring that
right. So Escobar bumps up, so that will bring Kim Su-hyeon out.
Unless
Kim could come up.
Yeah, Korea could bump 1 kilo and have Rogers come out as well, if Rogers is staying with 137. And then we even have Sara Ahmed has jumped down to 138.
Yeah.
Now I think we just saw the U.S. delegation there. Speed past Kim.
Okay, so Kim Su-hyeon bumps up to 137 in order to buy a couple more minutes of rest. And that will bring out Mattie Rogers. This will pretty much all but wrap up at least the silver medal for Mattie Rogers. Her best clean and jerk in competition, 141 kilos. She did that this year at the Pan American Championships. That was her best ever total, 252 kilos. She's taken the silver medal in the clean and jerk at her last 2 World Championships events. She's already got the silver in the snatch. Pretty characteristic double bounce.
Very strong jerk.
But she did just...
her chest caved on the bottom of the dip there, and that bar was not in the right place.
No lift, Rogers.
A bit surprising, yeah. She looks a little bit out of breath there. Maybe that clean was just a little bit off, threw her off, I think, breathing.
With this attempt.
Yep, strong in the jerk. I believe she's made 150 kilos in training in the jerk, potentially a little bit more. On her first day here in the training hall, she cleaned 140 kilos, having hip snatched 110, and she jerked 145 kilos out of the rack. Presumably she's had to cut a little bit of weight to make this session.
No, I think we saw on her Instagram that she was
eating
sandwiches before weigh-in.
Okay. So it's not down to the weight cut, but it might be down to the heavy snatch attempts that she's just taken.
Yeah.
And of course the altitude doesn't make things easy on these athletes. This is the highest ever World Championships by elevation.
She'll be the one to take this 37 because it's her second attempt, and the other 2 athletes that have 37 in now have a third attempt. Seconds always go before thirds.
Yeah.
We still have Sara Ahmed here with 138 as
change.
well.
137 stays on the barbell.
So Maddie's
Lifting
gone up
now,
to 38.
Third attempt, representing Colombia, Helen Escobar.
Okay, so
let's see if Escobar takes this 38. It's a 3 kilo jump, so it's a little bit more than her first to second.
And a change.
No, so we're seeing some changes. I mean, Mattie knew that if she moved up to 138, there'd be a few other athletes potentially going in before her. I guess
Well, the danger is if
South Korea will now come out. This will put her up at 245 kilos if she makes it. And that would force Escobar Aguirre to go up to 139.
Yeah, she tied with 139, I believe.
No, she'd win with 139.
Oh, she's got 37 here.
Okay, this is a big lift for Kim.
Beautiful, clean, much better than the second attempt.
She's made it before in competition. And it looks like she's going to make it once more. You can see what it means to her.
Complete opposite reaction. She is in tears.
For the first time, she's not all smiles. We see some deeper emotion coming out of Kim Su-hyeon as she hopefully solidifies a medal in the total.
There she is, back to the original, back to her old self.
What a pleasure to watch as Kim Su-hyeon, one of the most experienced athletes in the field, makes 4 out of her 6 lift, 245 kilos in the total. And now Sara Ahmed comes out. This will probably give her the gold in the total. It's going to put her at 251 kilos. It's unlikely that anyone is going to catch her up now. It's not impossible. If Mattie makes her second attempt, she might fancy a shot to move into the lead. She made 145 kilos in the training hall last week.
Very powerful clean. Just a rock solid lift all around.
So easy. It's not surprising, Max, for an athlete who made 152 kilos at the African Championships this year. 14 kilos down on that.
Second attempt from Mattie Rogers, United States.
So, Rogers up again at 38, staying with this.
So Mattie looked relatively strong in the clean. We know she can jerk big weights. Potentially, as you mentioned, Max, she caught that bar a little bit out of position, which caused her to get lightheaded.
Yeah, a better clean here is what she needs.
This lift will put her in silver medal position. Much better.
Yep.
And that is going to do it. That guarantees a medal in the total. Mattie Rogers once again for, I mean, this would be the 4th time in her career will stand on the podium in the total at the World Championships. Max, you mentioned that she is one of the top, maybe the top weightlifter in USA women's history. Phenomenally consistent now at this highest level at the World Championships. This lift, however, is a bizarre call. This is going to equal Kim Su-hyeon's bronze medal total. If she had gone for 139, she'd move into the bronze.
That's a bit.
She's guaranteeing with this lift that she will not get a total medal, but it will give her a clean and jerk medal. One more kilo would have done it. But it was just too much. In the end, the attempt selection didn't matter to the medal totals.
Yeah. Phenomenal effort, though. That clean was something else.
3 attempts remaining.
So now we see what is the strategy here.
You have to imagine that Mattie is...
Rogers, 3rd attempt.
Now, we probably need to take a look at what the USA medal, what the records are.
I believe it's 142.
142?
Potentially 142, yeah.
So the 76 kilo clean and jerk record is 141 kilos, and that is owned by Mattie Rogers, of course. She hit that earlier this year. So she's looking to go for that now. This lift will equal the lead in total. But I think realistically the US coaching staff know that Sara Ahmed has more in her, so there's no point trying to move into the lead when they could just go for not only a personal best in the clean and jerk, but a new American record, to further her own American record.
She is absolutely determined.
What a phenomenal performance by Mattie Rogers so far. Silver in the snatch, silver in the total. And this lift will move on to gold medal position in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, just a bit too heavy.
Not today, but you know what? She gave it everything. She smiles because she knows that once again she makes USA weightlifting history with more medals to add to her collection. Once again, she will stand on the podium. Once again, it's going to be the silver medal position where she'll stand behind this athlete here with 2 attempts remaining from Egypt. It's Sara Ahmed. She's taken gold in the snatch. She's taken gold already in the clean and jerk because she hit the 138 first. She's got the gold in the total. Now she's just going to look to extend her positions.
Very powerful clean.
So easy. No problem with the jerk as well.
I'm not sure if she's going to even need to take a third, or well, not need, but want to take a third.
She didn't even need to take that. She had all 3 golds wrapped up.
She's a bit far from the world record, which is 152 kilograms.
So
we'll see if she just goes for maybe a season best for her.
2 minutes to determine her final attempt.
A season best would require 153 kilos. I don't know if she fancies a 10 kilo jump. I mean, maybe she does. Alternatively, she might be thinking to herself, if I want to compete at the Olympics, I'm going to need to move up to 81, so I need to put in a total that is so big that it would put me in the top 8 in the world in the 81s. And so she's almost acting as an 81, competing at 76.
I think that's the most likely scenario here.
Samir remains the athlete, 145.
Now, if we look at Sara Samir's competition history, she first competed in 2012 at the African Junior Youth Championships, which she won as a 63. She clean jerked 120 kilos there. She's come a long way since. She won the 2014 Youth Olympics. That was with 125 kilos. 148, which she's going for now, will be her second best clean and jerk ever. And it looks like it's what she's going to come out with.
Thank you, loaders. You're doing a fantastic job here. The IWF World Championships 2022.
So this will move her up to 261 kilos.
Just a kilo over her entry total.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was a big enough total to get into the top 8 in the heavy 81 kilo category. I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the next 18 months this total of 261 will remain in the top 8. A monster lift for Sara Ahmed, the heaviest clean and jerk we've seen from the women's side so far at this World Championships.
Great clean.
She's very fast under the bar. And can she hold it? She's a little bit wobbly, but she's going to get that lift. It's 3 gold medals for Sara Ahmed from Egypt here. 113 in the snatch, 148 in the clean and jerk. She didn't snatch more than the athletes yesterday, but she has out-totaled all of the women so far at this World Championships. The gold medal, 5 for 6 to Sara Ahmed, 261 kilos in the total. And then an incredible performance from the USA, Mattie Rogers gets the silver medal for the 3rd time in her career, the 5th time standing on the podium at the World Championships. The bronze medal is going to go to South Korea. Kim Su-hyeon, fantastic lifting, 108-137. The runner-up will be Escobar Aguirre, I believe, from Colombia, 242 kilos. Max, a really exciting session there, but we're going to have to wrap this up because we're back underway in 20 minutes for the men's 102. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. And from me and Max, we'll see you in half an hour's time.